All right, let's get this conversation on the road real quick for you. For some weeks now, we've seen the sort of turmoil, if you like, that has happened in the oil and gas sector, especially as it has to do with the downstream sector. But then again, there are those who believe that there's really nothing new about this, unless, of course, for the allegations that had been leveled against the now former managing director, or if you like, the chief executive officer of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, talking about Mr. Ahmed Farouk. But then we understand that matter is ongoing because those allegations are not only weighty, but they demand explanation and there's needs to substantiate them. To that end, we understand the ICPC has now invited Aliko Dangote, the president of the Dangote Group, and of course, who is also the chairman of the Dangote Petrochemicals, to come provide more evidence in a bid to substantiate those claims. I'm joined this morning by a lawyer and a public affairs commentator, barrister Oladotun Hassan, who is the president of Yoruba Council Worldwide, to help us understand the implication of these developments. Thank you so very much, Oladotun, for making our time to join us this morning.
It's a pleasure to be on your program. Good morning. Good morning, viewers at home.
Good morning. You and I talked about the petroleum industry a lot in 2023 and 2024, especially following the removal of the fuel subsidy. But things have moved really fast in that sector right now. Today, we're talking about pricing regarding petroleum. We're talking about availability of the product in the market. Right in the middle of that, we have the Dangote refinery, which many people believe that is here to ease the pain of Nigerians as far as the issue of PMS, fuel or petrol, is concerned. Help us understand some of the factors that could have led to this issue between the Dangote refinery and the NMDPRA.
Well, we have to look at the scenario from the prism of the rots in the oil and gas industry. The oil and gas industry has been a money-making machine for some cabals, and these cabals are both the regulator and the tormentors, and this in a close shot means that Nigerians have not yet felt the relief of having been one of the oil-producing countries of the world. Vis-a-vis, it took Mr. President removal of fuel subsidy, and this same subsidy itself, it's more criminalized because there have been a lot of opaque methodology in dealing with it. And in the approach of getting a resolution, we now have the advent of the Dangote refinery, which is a game changer that brought about home-made products of the petroleum product we have been paying huge amount for. Why would we be producing crude oil, then we swap our crude oil for foreign companies, international oil companies, and these same international oil companies are given the badge of conspiracy, of tormenting Nigerians through it in connivance with petroleum marketers. Both work hand in hand in connivance with the regulatory agency to make Nigerians suffer. So the advent of Dangote refinery brought about the need to review how much are we supposed to be buying this petroleum product without paying for the landing cost, without paying for all the demurrage, without having to pay for the burden of tax. We now saw the need as an organization to give maximum support to Dangote refinery on behalf of Yoruba Council Worldwide and Nigeria Coalition Group. Recently, we marshaled our views to the Dangote refinery management. We marshal our view to the president that there is no way, no how that fuel importation can continue to sustain this economy. The only thing in line with the government policy of Nigeria Force, is to end importation. And it is not just about Dangote refinery. We have over 30 licensees that were given license to refine oil, to refine petroleum product. But Dangote is just being at the forefront. That doesn't mean every other refinery from Edo refinery to other refineries, even the Barr refinery coming up, will not benefit from how to sustain it now. We believe that NIDRA, headed by Farouk Ahmed, in connivance with the union organizations under the IPMAN, Bengasin, NUPENG, all of them were working, even DAPMAN, were working hand in hand to sustain the sufferings of Nigerians. And the reduction of fuel caused this, because who is the one reducing fuel? Dangote is reducing fuel, believing that Nigerians cannot be paying higher now that he's buying the crude oil with Naira. So why do we have to pay higher when government have made him to buy the same product at a easier price on Naira basis? And to many, these have really, put the GDP of the country in a higher state. It has even increased the revenue prospect of the country. And the reduction from over 1,500, now we are getting towards 699. We still believe by maybe before the end of the year, we can still achieve 400 naira per liter, which is possible. So, but the pain started with the management, the regulatory agency. They are like a clog in the wheel, fighting Dangote for reducing the price. And to us, we saw it that Dangote is only patriotic. What they are doing is more of their profit. And we believe that the resignation, or rather the sacking of Ahmed Farouk, is just one out of many that are still remaining within the oil and gas sector. And that is why Mr. President should not just end with the removal of the headship of NIDRA and the downstream and the upstream sector. They should go more deeper into NMPC, because that is where the cankerworm lies. Recently, we are all aware that over 200 trillion naira cannot be accounted for by NMPC. Who stole the money? So, to me and many Nigerians, this whole battle is not yet over. This is just the beginning of many things to come, many heads to roll. Because from the investigation of Farouk, we are just looking at the flimsy part of the investigation. More bigger investigation will come by the time Searchlight is being, through the NFIU, on his own financial transaction, both corporate, private, and the cronies around him. So we believe that we can achieve a whole lot if better opportunities are placed to Nigerians, and Nigerians are given a true life to enjoy the benefit of their product. And what we see is not just trying to make noise, but we are fighting for the survival of our nation. We are fighting for the sustenance of local investors, for ensuring local investors are protected. Importers are only killing jobs in Nigeria. For a company that is pride itself to have built 650,000 capacity oil plant per day, hoping to expand to 1.4 million. This is not just a joke. For a company that has brought about over 10,000 trucks to ensure that petroleum station and marketers get product at the tip of their finger, is even going further to offer credit products so that those that don't have money to purchase can as well come under the credit facility. Who else can offer this? It's just only a patriotic man can do this. All this noise of monopoly is an endangering voices to put Nigerians under the yoke of their evil machination, and those are what they are sponsoring in the media. So we are correcting that. Let that investigation be expanded from ICPC and EFCC, CBN, NFIU should join. The DSS as well should join so that the real rot in the oil and gas sector that permeates the entire existence and fabrics of this nation, we can loosen the grip of the enemies of this country at least once and for all. And I believe with this ongoing investigation, it will set the ball rolling for success, for good governance, and it will ensure that the PIA law, which protects local refinery, ensuring that upon when local refinery do not have been able to satisfy the country and where there is no capacity to satisfy, then you cannot import. But now, Dangote Refinery has given assurance that it has capacity for 1.5 billion a month, and it's having the capacity to ensure that it serves the entire nation. All it's demanding is give me crude oil. Because let you understand, deliberately, Dangote have been denied of the capacity of the crude oil required to manage that refinery. We are talking about 650,000 barrel capacity, and it's been given less than 150,000 barrel. Where do you expect him to get other crude oil? He needs to now go to US, Ghana to buy crude oil, which is a disgrace to Nigeria. And we are now telling a patriotic government who is ready to help. The clock in the wheel at this NPDRA, NNPC, that one standing as a clog in the wheel for ensuring that they get 100% crude oil supply. And once that is done, let the federal government stop fuel importation. At least give us 6 months. Let us see the difference. If we are not going to see surplus for ensuring that Nigerians are better satisfied, even at the demerit of the fact that these fuel that were being imported are even substandard, they are not even of great quality that Dangote is producing. So there's many issues surrounding this brouhaha that is going on.
Okay, let's talk about, because it will appear most times this conversation has the tendency to be lopsided or one-sided, all right? So from the side of the now former Chief Executive Officer of the NMDPRA, Mr. Farouk Ahmed, it is that when you serve in that capacity, you are a regulator in chief, so to say, you're naturally going to come in confrontation with vested interests, including the likes of Aliko Dangote, including giants like the Dangote refinery and all of that. Is it not possible that whatever Dangote and other stakeholders on his side or in his camp are doing is just a move to, as it were, rail against a regulatory framework that would not tolerate compromise?
If we are talking about a regulator, then we'll be glad that a regulator that has capacity to even regulate. The unfortunate situation is that a regulator that does not even have a lab to test the oil that is about to regulate. What kind of regulator is that? Regulator on paper, regulator on fraud, regulator on just gimmicks and deceit. So Nigerians need to wake up. Even Dangote Refinery's capacity is more of a regulator than an investor, because with his capacity, you can even test the entire oil that is imported into this country, because no lab in Nigeria has the capacity in which Dangote Refinery is boasting of. So even when the first petroleum product that was brought out, that was refined from that refineries, was first of all launched, the number one enemy came from the NPDRA. They came up with a ruthless lie that the petroleum product is not good for consumption, only for Dangote to bring out the same glass of oil in the foreglare of the whole world that come and test. Till date, Farouk has not visited the refinery to go physically and assess the place. It shows wickedness. It shows the penchant of how some hegemonic cabal are holding this country to its jugular. It's beyond what we are seeing. This is just more like a fight for freedom of the soul of this country. These people believe that they have capacity to do and undo. It's even taking Mr. President a lot of carefulness to ensure that he gets the right pace for him to reverse some of these issues. Mr. President recently raised 15% tax on every imported product. However, these same cabals were very quick to use the presidency to upturn that 15% tax on every imported product, the tariff. In America, for the US president to sustain American economy, Nigeria will slam over 35% on every exported product that has been imported to America. China was slammed 200%. Several other countries were slammed grade of percentage. So in order to, when countries put up tax tariff on special need, is to sustain the local economy, is to rejig and put up a vibrancy that even if you want to import, you will not kill the local market. However, what has been happening within the oil and gas sector is more like a evil forest that Nigerians have been dumped in. We are not seeing the light under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who believes that let us use Nigeria's wealth for the benefit of Nigeria. You can see he's more passionate. Even during the meeting of the APC executive of maybe last week, he was very passionate to tell them that let the local government get their direct allocation. These are issues that are bedeviling this country. Why are the people we put on ends of our affairs, are them wicked? Must they be told the right thing to be done? Must the governors be taught where to do things? Must the MPDRA regulatory offices and NNPC be taught that what we are all facing now is a solution and not to compound our problem? So people are feeding on our suffering, and they believe that they have right to kill us, they have right to sabotage us, they have right to make sure that we don't survive. If you really witness and follow up the trajectory, in Dangote refinery, over 22 sabotage were committed on that refinery. They were even all out to destroy the refinery. So you can see them, whenever they are championing a cause, they'll say, oh, maybe one section of the refinery is not functioning. Who destroyed it? Is this same cabal? They use the Benghazi to shutting down the crude and gas supply. What evil could that be from Osifo-led Benghazi? What evil are we all managing in this country? So my passion, and I speak the truth on behalf of all Nigerians, that where we are now is to ensure that we continue to appeal to the investors, the Dangote refinery and all other refineries. And federal government should give more licensing to modular refineries so that we can have higher competition on price reduction, not competition on price increment. So for us, Nigerians are looking forward when we go to our gentry petrol to buy petrol at the cost of 100 naira per liter, which is very possible. They can sell at any rate to foreign market, but let local market feel the force that this thing is actually ours, and this oil is God's gift and not a curse.
There are people who believe that whatever is going on right now between Dangote and I'd like to say Ahmed Farouk is pretty much a reenactment of what we had seen with another Farouk at that time, a member of the House of Representatives, and Otedola. Is there any truth in that? More so, I'm curious. Cases like this in Nigeria often get swept under the carpet. What chances does this one stand in terms of getting this case, pursuing it to a logical conclusion?
Well, to me, I believe this case stands a bigger chance, because for a strangulated man who is just finding his breath, I think he will use all within his own capacity to fight on. Let's see how justice is even being treated when it comes to big men. People say it's only this country is meant for for big men and the poor people are meant to die. But this time around, Dangote himself is the petitioner, and he is the one that is the investor, is the one feeling the pulse and the battle. However, the battle is fighting is not personal. That's why our own organization, Yoruba Council Worldwide, alongside various civil organizations and Nigeria Coalition Group, believe that it is high time we rise in support to even navigate his path so that we don't allow him be the one producing evidences. Beyond Farouk, we are ready to ensure that the entire NFPC is audited, just like the CBN, the former CBN governor Emefiele is facing criminal charges. A whole lot of the marketers, oil cabals, who import, according to the Emir of Kano, Lamido Sanusi, said that these oil cabals will bring their crude vessel without delivering any oil or petroleum product. They will raise money for a goods not supply. They will even be roving on the sea about 5 times, pretending to have supplied petroleum product. Why are they deceitful? Why are we a nation of corrupt-minded individuals? Even sometimes they will come in a process of wanting to deliver the product. They deliver just a fraction of that product, whereby the remaining product are taken to other shores, other African countries, where they can sell at a higher price. So this corruption is deeper than what we are seeing. It will take a whole iron fist to cure this. Even from Dangote's testimony, he said the cabals within the oil and gas sector are dangerous than the drug cabals. So what else evidence are we looking for? These are not just mere statements of fabrication. These are the reality that is confronting all of us. We are at a crossroad with this oil cabal. And let us rally round. I'm imploring Nigeria, and I'm calling on the federal government to do everything within its capacity. In fact, I have expected that the Attorney General of the Federation would have given a backup to the legal support of Dangote Refinery pursuing this case using the might of government, because to get to some space, Dangote alone might not be able to go further. But if the office of the Attorney General is being called, and we will still take that up, that the office of the Attorney General must put up a position of backing this investigation, ensuring that Sumoto on their own position, they are giving the necessary voice so that people will not see the government as an accomplice. Because the people in government agencies are co-conspirators and accomplices in this battle of rage. And we believe what Nigerians are expecting is solution and not noise. We want immediate solution. We want the investigation to be conclusive to prosecution level and proper sentencing, if need be apportioned to all culpable individuals. This should open up other fabrics of corruption within the oil and gas sector. Beyond what we are seeing in the face value, there is more deeper entrenched corruption that the eyes, if left open to see what we are talking about, this country can go aflame. But we believe that Mr. President is capable to resolving this case, and one of the cardinals to solving this is for him to issue an executive order to stop fuel importation, increase tariff for those that want to go all nose to import to as high as 200%, to ensure that the local refinery are given all necessary support, including the federal government refinery. I don't think it's a very good idea for Nigeria to sell its refineries. What Nigeria should do is to rejig it properly. Who say government cannot manage anything? Aramco of Saudi Arabia is being managed by their government.
Right.
So it would be lazy for anybody to say government does not have capacity. Then why do you have government? So government should show more clarity that yes, if it requires the law that is managing those refineries, let them transform those refineries into private companies. Appoint private individuals that are well experienced to manage it. So it need not be that it must now be sold to an unmerited company who will just go acquire, just as the way our electricity were being sold to cronies. We need that all the refineries should be properly managed as a corporate liability company with share capital that investors can come in. Just like Dangote is going, the competition should be federal government owned refinery price should come more lower. So if Dangote is selling at 699, federal government should be selling at 200. So thereby, Dangote itself will have somebody to be pursuing. The competition and the end of monopoly's idea will not come up at all. However, there is no monopoly as we speak. What we just have is price war that are detrimental to the people if that man and all these oil marketers are given the license to kill us. No, a shield for Dangote who is defending us. The fight Dangote is fighting now is fight for the common good of all Nigerians. It's a patriotic fight. Lawyers must rise. All professionals must give support. This is not a time for us to sit on the fence.
All right.
Dangote alone, just out of his CSR, provide over $700 million at 100 billion naira in support of education annually. So who else can do this? For somebody who nobody is paying him, he could have taken his money. If we can solve the oil and gas sector, it will be easy for us to call him out also to helping us reduce the price on the cement, on sugar, on salt, so that Nigerians can feel his totality of his patriotism. So, and I believe strongly we'll be ready and very, very impactful to solving this problem for Nigerians.
All right, let's do this in 2 minutes, Oladotun. Will it not be some sort of injustice if Farouk Ahmed is prosecuted and then we pay a blind eye to those who we are told have been responsible for stealing the country's patrimony in the name of supplying crude that was never really supplied. So the question again, if we were to rephrase, is should we not deploy the same energy now, the same resources, in the case of those people who deceived the country in the name of subsidy, supplying petroleum products without actually making products available, as we're doing with the case of Farouk?
Well, that is why I'm calling on the office of the president and especially that of the Attorney General of the Federation, the NSA, the DSS. There is more to this. We are talking about economic sabotage. We are talking about cabals who are ready to ground this country. We are talking about those with resources that can change the live wire of this country overnight. Because these resources are already in their kitty. What the federal government should do first is to see how best they can recover all these funds back into the CBN coffers. Because when these funds are still outside, and we are doing the cat and dog approach, we will not get any solution. President must sign an executive order for declaration of state of emergency in the oil and gas sector to end fuel importation, to review and investigate all corrupt practices. When I say all corrupt practices, that means every entry of sales of every penny of crude oil must be accounted for in the last 20 years. At least, let's just take 20 years lifespan and see how many people will this web be caught in. To me, the corruption is endemic. Because sometimes it will get to a situation, if the government is not finding its feet very strong, I don't hope that the hunter will become the hunted. Because the lifeline of this whole issue rests on the survival of this nation. But I believe if the Attorney General steps in, he has the fiat to give a wider investigation well, because Dangote can only be asked to defend only the petition is writing.
Right.
And that's a room. But what about other book accomplices? These accomplices are companies that we can identify. These are two accomplices of people on high places. So we are not just talking about feeble minds. We are talking about those that have positions in this country. So it depends on the determination, on the body language of Mr. President to go all out. Or better still, maybe President is trying to look the way just to see that, well, let's stabilize the economy so that we don't face too many battles at the same time.
I'm afraid.
Federation
Right.
is currently facing charges now. That is to show how deep the corruption in this country
Of course.
is.
Barrister Oladotun Hassan, I'd like to say we appreciate your time and very valuable insight on this conversation this Monday morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, so as always, leaving it with this conversation, everyone. I will return shortly to end the show for you. Do stay with us. Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Well, that's Global Morning for you today. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Remember, as always, that the views of our guests are their opinions. I am Uyi Agmofwe, wishing you a Merry Christmas.
And I'm Priscilla Obasio, also wishing you a beautiful day and a Merry Christmas in advance.
All right. Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.